Brings us now to new business. Item A, consideration action on an RFP for Oak Road Park. Councilman Sabag.
Excuse me, madam, that's my item on the agenda.
I'm recognizing Councilman Sabag for a motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion as stated here, consideration action on RFP for the Oak Road that entails the work to be done alongside of the plan that was provided by Mr. Sanders for us tonight.
So a motion to approve the release of an RFP for the Oak Road Passive Park. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion by council?
The Oak Park has been discussed back and forth. In fact, I think the land was purchased in 2003 as a green space as a green space grant. And in 2008-2009, there was a master plan created to make that park become a passive park for the city to enjoy. And there has been a lot of discussions from that point on. In fact, in 2009 Splots, we advertised completion of Oak Road Passive Park as a project for the voters. In 2010, the city received cost projection for the complete project, including sidewalks, and the sidewalks have been an issue since then, based on the fact that they belong to the county versus the city, etc. In 2010, the city received a proposal for design service from HDR. And in January 2012, the mayor put the discussion of Oak Road on council discussion. My point about bringing a lot of these dates in view, I think the council has. I think we're all on the same page on this one. We need to have a passive park placed in there. We need to move forward with it. The money issue was discussed tonight in council at the work session, and I'd like to be able to work with the city manager, the rest of the council, and the planning department to make sure that we do have a passive park really soon. Those are my comments.
Councilman Elwitz.
Thank you. Oak Road Park has been a problem. Biggest problem is transportation. This park is going to sit over there, and it's not going to have very many homes that can get to it. You know, you're going to spend $600,000, $700,000, and you're going to have people putting their life in danger trying to get to the park. So there's a problem. But we also want to build the park. So the park is only one half of the plan that I have for the Oak Grove Park. Park's half of it. Here's what's happened with the SPOST. Sidewalks on Oak Road have never been a funded project. At best, they've been what's called an unfunded project. And the way that a program gets from an unfunded project to a funded project is by having a high score. Now, they use all different kinds of metrics to measure what your score is. But Oak Road sidewalks have never had a high enough score in order to get the sidewalks that are needed up Oak Road. So I went to the county commissioners and asked them, you know, how do we do that? How do we get from an unfunded project to a funded project? And Tommy Hunter, who is very helpful, got some answers for me. The way you do it is what I had proposed, Mr. Sabah read for me, was a RFP to get the trees cleared out of there and get a path run around that exterior. What this does is that makes that park, even though it's not complete, it puts it on the map for the county. Now that that's on the map for a county, it gives it a higher score. Gives Oak Road sidewalks a higher score because now there's a park there. Okay, and if you have a park there and there's interest in it, and then now all of a sudden it becomes a public safety issue, your score is almost triple, but they certainly double. Okay. Along with that, in my discussions, I was told if we could get the participate in the establishment of those sidewalks with a percentage of the cost, that again raises the score, because now the county has a partner with the city, and together they build the park and or build the sidewalks together. Okay, and it's going to be a lot of money to build sidewalks from 124 all the way down to what's that street? Mountain View, yes, exactly, Mountain View, right, thank you. So anyway, that's going to take an extreme amount of money to do that. So the commissioners have suggested that if we could put that money or put a percentage aside in our 2014 SPLOST, then they would, and we start this park, that would bring us way up in our score to a funded project. And if we get to the point that we're a funded project, you're going to get done. So rather than just a park that we're spending $650,000, $700,000 on, that only 16 or 17 houses can reach, what will happen when we're done is we'll have sidewalks all the way from Mountain View all the way up to 124 with the crosswalks and ways to get to this park. So now it's open to the entire city. Because if you know that there are sidewalks already down Mountain View, so that makes Mountain View connectivity right to the downtown center, which we hope to have. So basically, this is just the first step. This is not about the park at all. This is about getting that entire project completed over there with the sidewalks. All this is going to do is it's going to put our park on the radar for the county, and I have been promised by Commissioner Hunter that he's going to stay on top of this. He knows how important it is. We've had many conversations with people over in the neighborhood. They're well aware of what we're doing, and we just feel this is a way to get it done and to get finally get the park in Oak Grove, but at the same time save the city some money getting sidewalks all the way from Mountain View all the way up to Highway 124.
Additional comment?
I have one. I've got a lot of reservations about Oak Road Park, as originally suggested in the master plan. Started off at $600,000, then it went to $750,000. My estimate, it's going to be $1 million deal before it's all done. It's a lot of money to spend for very, very limited access. And I also have some concerns about people crossing Oak Road to get to it. I think this is a very important first step. I'd like to thank Mayor Pro Tem Witz for bringing it up. I think it's an ingenious solution to getting this thing off dead center, because I think it's foolish to say we're going to go and spend $1 million on a park that at best 30 people can access, or 30 different families. How do you justify that to people who live on the other side of the city who don't have a park, don't have an option? So I think a reasonable budget gets us off to a good start, and it does address the sidewalk issue, which is very important. I had concerns originally. I believe there was a proposal back in 2012 to do a $50,000 study to put sidewalks in. We didn't even know if we could get county approval because it's a county road. Something people don't realize is there are a lot of roads in Snellville that are not maintained by Snellville. So when you see a pothole on Highway 78, you don't call Public Works, because that's not Public Works' responsibility. It's either a state or federal responsibility. Same thing with Oak Road in that area. It is a county road, and they probably wouldn't object if we put sidewalks in. But I think the proper thing to do is to get permission first, because you could get an objection and you could get into a legal issue. So I think this not only prevents the county from being an adversary, it makes the county an ally. And I think the conversations with Commissioner Hunter have been very, very productive. And I think this idea of Mr. Witz to get this going is a first step. And the first step is just a first step, and it has no effect on the ultimate goal. If we ultimately decide to go and finish as the original master plan outlines, the first step is already done. So it looks to me like this is a win-win situation. And I think I've had some emails about people being concerned about the sidewalks on Oak Road as well. And I think this is an ideal solution. And I think we very definitely need to move forward with this RFP.
Councilman Howard?
You know, when when developers come in and they want to do things to improve areas, one of the first things that they look at is what can we do first that's going to get people excited, you know? Okay, so if you've ever noticed in this particular case, when they start building a subdivision, one of the first things they put in is a swimming pool. Anybody ever notice that? Not a house one, but they got a nice clubhouse and a swimming pool. Well, not entirely the same logic, but it's very close as to the Oak Road Park. Is that let's start here, gain momentum, and developers always want good, solid, foundational partnerships when they move forward with bigger projects. And we know this is going to be a bigger project. So what a way to do that, and to have the county kind of on board with our plan to move things forward. You know, again, I think it's very good that we start slow. We're going to do something. Nothing's been done to this point, so anything we do here forward is better than we've done. So, you know, it can just be great in the end if we step through everything right to start with, and I think this is a great first step.
Erica, could you turn the... I'll do it. That's okay. Thank you. So I said I was going to make tonight about Amanda Riley and not say much on different issues. I am going to support this RFP tonight because at least we are getting something done. But I want to explain a few things that have previously been said by some of the council members. First of all, so that everyone knows what we're talking about. This is the master plan for Oak Road Passive Park. It's beautiful. It's got a walking trail, it's got a meadow, it's got a picnic area, playground area. I think it's got a bird watching area. This is something, to be honest, was Mayor Oberholzer's pet project. And as Councilman Sabag said, in 2003, the city purchased this land with the governor's greenhouse fund. That means that this property has to be used for a passive park. We can't have parking there. We can't have large-scale parking there. It can't be a citywide park. It is a neighborhood passive park. In 2009, we came up with this master plan. And in 2009, we went out to the voters and we said, we want to use SPLOST money. If you approve the 2009 SPLOST, we want to use a part of that to pay for the Oak Road Passive Park. And this is our worksheet from the 2009 SPLOST projections, and we put aside roughly $600,000 for Oak Road Passive Park. Now, there's been talk that this park can only be used for a couple of neighborhoods. That's right. That's the way we planned it. It was our vision at the time, as a council member with the rest of the council, it was our vision that we're going to have passive parks throughout the city that will serve different neighborhoods. This park won't serve just 16 homes like some on council have said. It will actually serve the Nob Hill neighborhood. It'll serve the Colony, I believe it's Colony Square neighborhood, Chimney Trace Drive. It'll serve the neighborhoods on Mountain View, Brookwood Plantation, Williams Down, Harbor Oaks. So it will serve several hundred homes, not just a few select homes. And it was always the intention of mayor and council for the city to pay for the sidewalks down Oak Road to Mountain View so that these people could walk to those homes. In 2011, In 2011, we asked for service, estimate of services, estimate of costs from HDR. You can see that included in that estimate was sidewalks between Oak Road and Mountain View and Ferndale Lane. We weren't relying on the county to pay for those sidewalks. We were budgeting for the city to bear those costs. And that cost came to about $600,000, $690,000, included the sidewalks. And what happened since that time? We took no action on, that's fine. We took no action on the passive park because sometime in 2012, we spent that SPLOST money on other things. We bought a mobile stage, we did some improvements to the town green. We spent the park money in different areas. A few weeks ago, Mr. Sanders told us that we still have, I believe it's $2.176 million in our park money for 2009 SPLOST and 2005 SPLOST combined. So we have money there to move forward with the Oak Road Passive Park. Now, if it was up to me, we'd put an RFP to do this whole master plan. It doesn't mean that we have to do everything, but at least we'd be getting a cost for it. We're moving forward now so that at least we can say we're doing something, but the reason's not because we need funding from the county for sidewalks. The reason's not because it's only going to serve a few people. The reason is that's what money we have left in our park SPLOST after we've spent money in these other areas. So at least tonight we're moving forward, but it's not for these reasons that some of council may have you to believe.
Madam Mayor, you have the floor.
I believe everyone's had an opportunity to speak.
I'd like to, if I may, Mayor, ask your indulgence to
No, sir,
respond to
you
some of the things you
you
didn't
don't
say.
have the floor. Everyone, you've had your opportunity to speak. I'm going to call the question. All those in favor
Thank you.
of releasing the RFP as stated, signify by raising your right hand. That's 5 in favor. All those opposed? You're abstaining? Oh, you vote. I didn't see your hand. 6 in favor? 6 in favor, 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. Item number B, you heard in the city manager's report, this is not ready, so I will withdraw my sponsorship, and that will move us on to item number C, consideration action